Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Vijay and we are learning Python in our Python Mastery series. So, in the previous video, we implemented a very beautiful project, smart billing system, and we were able to perform the whatever the foundational learning that we had to implement in that project. So, from this video, we are starting a new concept, looping in Python. So, what is the meaning of looping? Let's say in childhood, teacher used to give us homework that write this sentence 5 times, write this write this chapter for 10 times. That all repetitive work, if we have to do, or if we have to implement with Python, that we won't be writing that print statement. Supposedly we want to print something 5 times, rather than writing it for 5 times, Python provides us a very feasible solution that we can automate that, and we can write that with one sentence and asking Python to repeat it 5 times. This is a very practical solution and feasible solution. So that helps us to automate our work. Okay, so that is what looping comes into the picture for. So there are two types of loop, for loop and while loop in Python. Today we are going to learn the while loop. And if I have to give you an analogy with our Code Cafe theme that we are continuing with this series, so let's say if there are 5 customers, so for all of them five, do we need to write a welcome message separately? Or let's say we are generating a token. So do we need to manually generate token number one, token number two in that way, whatever the number of customers are? No, we want Python to automatically understand and generate it for us, automate that thing. Okay, so for all of that thing, we are using while loop. And let's start with our coding part. There is not much theory. You will understand the coding implementation directly, and you will be able to understand in which scenarios the looping is helpful. And believe me, in real world project, this is a very important concept you will be using day in day out to automate your things. Okay, so let's jump to the VS Code directly and let's start it. So let's say I have to write a program where I have to generate a token number. Okay, let's say I have to count before even the token. Let's start with a count scenario. Okay, and I will explain you each part in context of the syntax too. So let me first write the whole code. Okay, so this is a very simple piece of code. What we are doing, we are just first initializing the count, a variable count. We want to count from 1 to 5. So we are not writing and printing that count. So what else we can do? Alternative can be we write something like this: print 1, then the next statement will be print 2, all that thing. Okay, but not practical. So we are using loops for this. Okay, and while loop we are using here. For loop we will be understanding in the upcoming videos. Same thing can be done with that also, but while loop we are using to implement the count. We are just asking Python to print it. The number cannot can be larger than that. We can put 1,000 also, we can put 100 also, whatever the number can be. But this piece of code will remain same. Only the final count will change. So we don't have to write the code repeated. In programming, there is a concept that do not repeat yourself, dry principle. So we won't be repeating ourselves, and we will be just writing code once and ask Python to do that instead of us. Okay, so let's say I execute this. So here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so what we are doing, first we are initializing this thing. This is called initialization. This is a foundation for any loops you are writing. You have to first initialize the variable that the starting value will be this. Okay, Then what you are doing, you are putting a condition here. Okay, and then you are doing a increment here. So what happens whenever you are writing a condition, that while this is true, okay, this condition will result into a true or false boolean value. Until this is true, it will keep on executing the block of code which is under while. Okay, so what we are doing, we are keeping a condition that will evaluate to true or false. Then based on that, we are printing or taking any action. Okay, and the important part, we are also incrementing the value. We are making a change. We are not just operating on the initial value. If we keep on, let's say if I don't write this one, it will become infinite because the value will always be 1 and it will always be true. So it will become something like true. Okay, and it will keep on executing infinitely until we do a hard stop for this. Okay, so always make sure that you put a increment condition or a decrement condition. We will see the decrement part also in this video itself, but make sure that it should do a increment or decrement that will lead to a condition where it makes this while condition false, so that this does not become an infinite loop. Okay, so talking about our code cafe example, let's say we want to print a welcome message, and there are, let's say, 3 customers. So we are keeping the count as 1, starting with the 1, and while the count is less than or equal to 3, until there are 3 customers, we will write welcome to code cafe. Okay, you remember we keep on writing that message. Okay, and yeah, the smiley I was searching for, that I got. Hmm. Okay, so, and finally we will make a increment, and you remember this, uh, what this is means is count equal to count plus 1. This is a shortened way of writing this in the programming. Okay, you can write this also, but this is a good practice. Okay, you can see it printed 3 times. How? First, the value of count was 1. So let's take this piece of code and let's jump to our blackboard to understand this. So what happens? I have copied this code. At the first, our count value was 1 initialization. So it went here in the while condition. Is the value true? Yes. So print this statement. Okay. Then what it did? After printing it, incremented the value of count to 2. So the value of count became, now it became 2. Okay. Yeah. And again it validated this condition. Okay. Count is less than or equal to 3. Yes. Still the condition is true. So it again printed the message. And after printing, it again incremented the value to with plus 1 to 3. So now the value is 3. And again, if you check the condition while condition is again evaluating to true. So what it did, it again printed the message and incremented the value from 3 to 4. Now the count value is 4. This time the condition will evaluate to false while condition, because this is not count less than or equal to 3 is not true. So it won't go into the loop, it came out of the loop. Imagine if we don't write this part, it will become an infinite loop, because it will always evaluate to count is equal to 1 as true. Okay, so let's go back to the visual code. So this was the simple implementation of a while loop. Now let's say we had the token example that we assume. So we have token equal to 1, and we had while, and the guy at the reception has seen that there are 5 customers. So he requested for generate of token until the count is 5, because they have to give tokens to 5 customers. So we will have, and here we can see token. So one by one it will generate the token, but we also have to increment the value so that every customer gets a next number token. So token 1, token 2, in that way we can also use it for the token generation. Now coming to the next example. So till now we have seen in every concept that we were learning, first we were hard coding the value, then we were taking it from the user. So let's say now I want to generate the tokens until the receptionist himself enters the number of customers. Here we are hard coding it to 5. So take this example itself. Simple. First we will take the input from the number of customers we will take from receptionist himself. So input, enter number of customers. Okay, and we are converting into integer, and here instead of 5 we can write the number variable. Okay, so now it will ask the number of customers. Let's say I say 3, so it will generate 3 tokens. Let's say if I tell 10, it will generate 10 tokens. If I say 1, it will generate 1 token. So now it has become a dynamic. We are not hard coding any value. So this is very important for any program, to make it dynamic. Okay, so now we want to have a countdown created. So I told you that it is not necessary that we have the increment only. We can have a what we say, we can reduce the value also, but for that we can have the initialization in that way. So let's say I'm creating a countdown. Countdown is equal to 5 while countdown is greater than or equal to 1. This condition will be true. So this will stop whenever the countdown becomes 0. So what we will do, print countdown, and in this scenario we are decreasing the value. Instead of increment, we are doing a decrement. So countdown minus equal to 1. Okay, so here you can see 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the steps and foundation is same, that we need to keep initialization, a condition, then an increment or a decrement. Okay, that 3 steps we need to follow whenever we are trying to have a loop. Now let's create a mini project. Okay, what we will be creating, we will be creating a code cafe. Hmm, we will have a token generator, or more specifically customer. Okay, so what we will do, same thing. First, a welcome message, welcome to code cafe. Okay, then we will have the customer name, input, enter customer name, have it spaces stripped. Okay, and then we will have title case to this. Then we will have initialization token equal to 1. Then we can have a print today's token. Okay, this is just a message, and let's have a slash n to make some space. And what else we can take? uh, Customer name, actually we don't require here in this case. Yeah, customer key, because this is something we are building for the reception person. So here we can have customer number rather than integer, and we will take the input, enter number of customer. Okay, and then while we are having the token, we can have token less than or equal to customer number. Okay, till that time we want to run the loop until once the customer number is met. That time we want to stop that thing. Okay, then we want to print a message, what is the current token number. So we will use the f string and customer token, and then we will mention the token number here. Okay, so this condition part is also done. Now we will do a increment part. So three things you need to take care of: do a initialization, do the condition part, and do the increment part. Plus 1 equal to 1. So token number it will increment by 1, and then once it's done we will print a message, a final message mentioning as token generation completed. So this will be for the person to notify that it has been completed. Okay, now code wise it looks good. Let's run it. How many customers are there? There are 5 customers. Okay, so you can see it is generating a token. Just I'm adding a slash n to differentiate this thing. Okay, token 1 2 3 4 5. Again, let's say there are 7 customers. Token 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So this has become a little dynamic now. Whatever the number of customers are present at the moment, we can generate the token at the runtime. This is just something, a solution that can be given to the reception person, so he can generate the token at the runtime based on the number of available customer. He do not have to go to the VS code and make the changes at the program. Okay, so we are giving flexibility to the user for this. So let's repeat what we have understood today. So we understood what is the need of the loop, what is while loop. Then we understood how to implement a while loop, what are the factors that we need to take care: initialization, condition, increment. Then we also understood, if we don't do initialization, what could it lead to? It could lead to an infinite loop. Okay, and then we also implemented a small project regarding the customer token generation. Okay, so let me change the screen. One second. Okay, so here today we learned about the while loop, where we exactly know how many times we want to run the loop. Like particular condition is met. Until that time we know that particular this thing happens. Till that time keep on running this loop. Now let's say I know that I want to have 10 times I want to run the loop, 50 times I want to run the loop. In that condition we will be using the for loop, that we will be understanding more in depth in the next video. So keep watching this series. I hope you are liking the concept whatever we are going through in this Python mastery series. If you have any suggestions, please feel free to comment. That will help us to build the community. Thank you. and happy coding.